Cane toad. The cane toad is a large amphibian native to South America that was intentionally introduced to Australia in 1935 to control agricultural pests. Instead of solving the problem, cane toads became an ecological disaster. These toads secrete toxins from their skin as a defense mechanism, and native Australian predators that tried to eat them died from the poison. With no natural enemies to control their population, cane toads spread rapidly across the continent. They now number in the hundreds of millions and continue expanding their range at a rate of roughly 1 mile per year. Cane toads outcompete native species for food and habitat, consuming massive quantities of insects and small animals. They've decimated populations of snakes, monitor lizards, and other predators that were crucial to maintaining the natural balance of Australian ecosystems. Burmese Python. The Burmese python is a large constrictor native to Southeast Asia that became established in the Florida Everglades through escaped pets and deliberate releases. These snakes can grow over 16 feet long and have no natural predators in Florida, allowing their population to explode without constraint. Burmese pythons are apex predators in the Everglades, consuming everything from small mammals to large deer. Researchers have documented cases of pythons consuming alligators, something virtually unheard of before their arrival. The python invasion has caused dramatic declines in populations of raccoons, foxes, rabbits, and opossums, with some species nearly disappearing entirely from the region. These predators were essential to the Everglades ecosystem, and their loss has created cascading effects throughout the food web. The python population now numbers in the tens of thousands, and eradication appears impossible. Zebra mussel. The zebra mussel is a small freshwater mollusk native to Eastern Europe that spread to North America through ballast water in cargo ships. These mussels attach themselves to any hard surface in water, including pipes, boats, and infrastructure. Zebra mussels clog water intake systems for power plants and municipal water supplies, costing billions of dollars in damage and maintenance. They reproduce rapidly and settle in dense clusters that smother native mussels and other bottom-dwelling organisms. Zebra mussels filter vast quantities of water, consuming plankton that native fish and other organisms depend on for food. They've invaded lakes and rivers across North America, and once established, they're nearly impossible to remove. The mussel population doubles annually in many waterways, creating an exponential ecological and economic problem. Lionfish. The lionfish is a venomous fish native to the Indo-Pacific that appeared in the Atlantic Ocean and Caribbean in the 1980s, likely released from aquariums. With no natural predators in Atlantic waters, lionfish populations have exploded across a vast region. These fish are voracious hunters with a toxic venom in their fin spines that deters most predators. Lionfish consume native fish species at alarming rates, with a single lionfish capable of reducing small fish populations by 80% in a localized area. They prey on young fish before they have a chance to mature and reproduce, disrupting fish populations across multiple species. The venom in their spines makes them dangerous to handle, limiting efforts to control populations manually. Native fish species in the Atlantic were not evolved to deal with lionfish predation, making them extremely vulnerable. Feral pig. The feral pig is a destructive mammal that descended from domesticated pigs brought by European colonizers to the Americas. These animals have spread across North America, with populations reaching several million across the continent. Feral pigs are highly destructive, using their powerful snouts to tear up soil and vegetation while foraging, an activity called rooting. This rooting behavior destroys habitats for ground-nesting birds and native plants, and the damage creates erosion that leads to water pollution. Feral pigs consume the eggs and young of endangered species, including sea turtles and nesting birds. They also carry diseases transmissible to livestock and humans, including brucellosis and swine fever. Feral pigs have no effective natural predators in most regions where they've established, allowing populations to grow unchecked. Kudzu. Kudzu is a fast-growing vine native to Japan that was introduced to the southeastern United States as an erosion control measure in the 1930s. Once established, kudzu spread aggressively across the landscape,
covering millions of acres of forest and farmland. The plant grows so rapidly that it can extend up to 1 foot per day during the growing season, choking out native vegetation. Kudzu climbs trees and covers their canopies, blocking sunlight and eventually killing them. It depletes soil nutrients and creates dense monocultures where little else can survive. The vine is extremely difficult to control because its root system is massive and can survive harsh conditions, including herbicide treatments. Kudzu has become symbolic of invasive plant problems in the southeast, though eradication remains virtually impossible.
Brown tree snake. The brown tree snake is a nocturnal predator native to Australia that arrived on Guam in the 1940s through military cargo shipments. Since its arrival, the brown tree snake has driven numerous native bird species to extinction on the island. The snake hunts at night, searching trees and buildings for birds, their eggs, and small mammals. With no natural predators to control their population, brown tree snakes establish themselves across the island with devastating results. Guam lost 10 out of 12 native forest bird species, along with several lizard species, due to snake predation. The ecological collapse of Guam's native fauna serves as a warning about how devastating a single invasive predator can become. Brown tree snakes continue spreading to other Pacific islands, threatening native species across the region. European rabbit. The European rabbit was introduced to Australia in the 1800s for food and sport hunting. Without natural predators or diseases to control them, rabbit populations exploded to reach an estimated 600 million individuals across the continent. These rabbits consume vegetation at rates that strip landscapes bare, preventing native plant species from establishing and regenerating. The removal of vegetation causes severe soil erosion and desertification, particularly in fragile interior regions. Rabbits compete with native marsupials like kangaroos and wallabies for limited plant resources. Their burrows destabilize soil and create erosion problems that damage water infrastructure. The ecological damage caused by rabbits prompted the Australian government to introduce a virus to control populations. But rabbits have shown increasing resistance to this biological control method.